Today we continue with our class Women's Guide to Practical Halachah. Very interesting. And today's topic is going to be Melaveh Malkah. And we start with Sefer Chafetz Chaim. And today's topic is silencing the accuser. As mentioned above, Hashem acts toward the Jewish people in the way that we act toward one another. Thus, if a Jew live in a peace, in harmony with one another, right? Jews live in peace and harmony with one another, even in heaven, Satan is not able to indict them. Hashem has implanted in Satan nature, that inability to indict his beloved nation in any way under such a conditions. So, meaning what? So, if we live in harmony with one another, so Satan has no voice. Did it ever work? Not really. Okay, unfortunately. Medrash Shirashim states that this applies even when the Jewish people are guilty of the worst sins, such as idol worship. Thus, it is written, beyond bound to one another in peace, but attached to idol worship. Ephraim, let him be. Hosea 4:17. So what it says here, so Hashem said, even though they worship idols, right? They worship idols, but since they're in peace, I let them be. On one hand, on another hand, we know what happened to them with their idols, right? Till this day, we do not know where they are. That's another piece of information. Okay. Midah kineged midah, measure for measure, is the rule of the heaven in all instances. When a person restrains himself from speaking disparagingly of his fellow and arousing bad feeling toward him, then in heaven the accuser is unable to open his mouth to accuse. So basically, this heavenly accuser, Satan, is a mirror of our action. So if we try not to accuse, right? So he would not be able to do that as well. The converse is true when Lashon Hara is spoken, and this invokes divine wrath toward the speaker. As our sages comment to the words, and in his hand was a coal, Yeshayahu 6:6. Hashem told the angel, break the mouth of the one who spoke ill of my children, Yalkut Shmoni. So just to remind us, there is no quote, but situation was when this it's actually, I think this is from last from this past week Haftorah, when this Yeshayahu said that it was a vision of the angels, and Yeshayahu said, who I am, I'm a man of the impure lips, who is dwelling among the people with impure lips. And Hashem said to angel, take a coal and burn his mouth. Right? Not to speak bad about my people. Okay, stop here. So what we do, sometimes we can speak about the sins that other people do, so to bring them out, not specific people, but in general, to know about our shortcomings. So some people are not aware. As the Talmud says, nobody is aware of the deficiencies. So people usually overestimate themselves. They think that they're much smarter, much better, much kinder. Okay, so that's what we do. We just bring out deficiencies, and we have to work on it. Okay, so we continue with Melaveh Malkah, and we're going to explain. So it says there is a mitzvah to eat Melaveh Malkah every Motzi Shabbos. This is in order to escort Shabbos queen when she departs. Okay. Just as when the king and the queen leaves the city, the people escort them on their way. Shabbos should be treated similarly. So our sages say, we have to make a demarcation when Shabbos starts. We do with Kiddush, and same when Shabbos leaves, we have to do another meal, right? Melaveh Malkah. Okay. Initially, there is a bone in the body called luz, which is nourished only from the food eaten at Melaveh Malkah. It did not benefit from Eitz Hadas. Consequently, it will not rot in a grave, and Techiyah Hamesim will therefore initiate with the bone. So let's understand what it says. So we know that all of the organs in our body are being nourished through different mitzvahs, right? So all of the organs, all of the ligaments in our bodies being provided with the spiritual nourishment from when we do the mitzvahs, and spiritual is converted into physical, right? But this loose bone, it's very interesting. It was not part of the sin of Adam Harishon, the first name, the first man, right? So, and this bone our sages explain, is indestructible. So even if they burn somebody in crematorium, Chas v'Shalom, or what the Nazis did, so our sages explain that this bone is indestructible, or like part of it is going to remain intact. So, and when Mashiach comes, Beezrat Hashem, he's going to start with what? With whatever is available. So, of course, most of the body rot in their grave if they've been there for a long time, and even recently. So, how do we know? Because Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos, the bones of the jealous rot. So, if somebody is jealous, that's what they should expect. Okay. So continue. Many poskim feel that women are obligated in the Melaveh Malkah just as men are, since the reason applied to them equally. Moreover, it is said that eating Melaveh Malkah is gula for easy childbirth. So what could be better for a woman? Easy childbirth, and plus don't rush to finish Shabbos early. Like it's as our sages explain in the Medrash, that Hashem looked at his treasury, and from all of the treasury, right, he gave us Shabbos. So you can imagine, so if Hashem himself, Hashem is Barach, knows what is good and what is not good, and he said, that's the best gift to my Kala, to my wife, Jewish nation, so we should not to Russia, finish it as soon as possible. So it's like continuation of Shabbos. Even Shabbos is over, but it's still we still celebrate. Preferably women also. There is no obligation like as strict as for men, but also like very very what is it? Some poskim feel that women are obligated, right? Obligated. Okay. Preferably one should eat bread in honor of Melaveh Malkah. If one is not able to do so, then at least she should eat a mizonos, a food or fruit. So that's also for men. For men, it does not say here, but Chazanish Zatzal says, a man who does not eat bread at Melaveh Malkah would be very sorry when Mashiach comes. That's what he said. So for me, it was enough said. So I said when I heard this, when I read this, I said, yeah, I'm eating bread always. When? Always. So try to eat less in Seudah Shlishis, a little less, and everything you have to eat is kizayis. That's of course we always recommend kibbutz like 2 ounces, but if not, like you cannot eat, so eat kizayis. It's 28 grams. Like it's not a lot. So bread and you're good. Okay. Okay. But and same for a woman. If she cannot, let her eat, and same for men. Let them mizonos, meaning some cookies, cakes, or something, or fruit, right? Or some even say like the most lenient opinion, you can drink hot beverages. Also, it is recommended to have meat or some other cooked dish in order to enhance the mitzvah. So of course it's proper to have real food, not just a piece of bread, right? To have meat, other dishes, hot dishes. The amount of food required to be eaten in the size of kizayis, right? That's it. So it's like 1 ounce. This is not very difficult to do, and therefore the mitzvah should not be ignored. Like kizais, it's not much at all. So if somebody cannot eat, I give this example in the winter, right, when Shabbos over, like, I don't know, five something. Let's say not now, but 6 p.m. So you're not so hungry at 6 p.m. Right, so you can wait, eat in 1 hour, eat in 2 hours when you're going to be hungry. That's it. It's but don't please do not pass it. It's very important mitzvah. Okay. And plus, we said only a little food needs to be eaten. Some are careful to serve Melaveh Malkah on Shabbos tablecloth. So and some people do not even change from the Shabbos clothing. So until after Melaveh Malkah, or at least minimum of the minimum until the Havdalah, until after Havdalah. So because when we're doing Havdalah, it's still Shabbos. Right? Okay. So continue. The time for eating Melaveh Malkah is before Chatzos, halachic midnight, and preferably right after Shabbos ends. Okay, as even though it says preferably, but in the winter when you're not so hungry, so okay, you can give an hour or like just don't forget, right? And until Chatzos, meaning I'm not sure what time is Chatzos now. I mean, it depends where you live, but it's halachic midnight, halachic. So you check the calendar. So that's all about Melaveh Malkah, and it does not say here, but we learn in Shulchan Aruch. So it's proper to have one dish that was actually cooked specifically for Melaveh Malkah, not leftover for Shabbos. At least one dish. Okay, you can have all of the other dishes as leftover, but one dish cooked. So what it could be, you can cook eggs or something, like some easy thing to do, like specifically in honor of Melaveh Malkah. Okay. Any questions on what we said? Okay, no problem. So we continue. So next topic is snow. And just to remind us, we're in a section of Shabbos, right? Is snow muktzeh? So muktzeh is something that you cannot move, you cannot touch, right? There is a great discussion among the poskim regarding whether snow is muktzeh on Shabbos. Many maintain that it is not muktzeh, whereas others feel that it is. This disagreement is in regard to snow that fell before Shabbos, as well as snow that fell on Shabbos. Therefore, the difference of the opinion that the snow is muktzeh, adults should not directly handle the snow on Shabbos. Children should be allowed to follow the lenient view. Walking on snow is permitted by all poskim and need not to be avoided. Okay, so let's try to understand. So what could be the problem with snow on Shabbos? So the first reason that comes to mind is that it's something new, right? That did not exist before Shabbos, right? So these things, like the classic example in the Talmud is a chicken egg. So if a chicken lay egg on Shabbos, so you're not allowed, or you don't know when it was laid. For example, maybe it was from Friday before the candle lighting, maybe, or it was on Shabbos day. You don't know. That's why it's we're not allowed to touch it. So same one of the reasons they say maybe it is muktzeh because of this, right? Because it's something new. Okay, so since there is a strong opinion that it is muktzeh, so we're always, in case of the need. And we always, unless we need it, we try to stick to the strict opinion. But children, they want to play with snow, no problem. Okay, no problem. But of course, you can walk on the snow. It's not like you're touching. You're doing your normal activities. Okay, continue. Even according to the opinion that snow is not muktzeh, one may not form a snowball or snowman on Shabbos. due to the prohibition bonnet building. So building, it's a different story. So right, you creating something that was not there before, right? So it's also another issue in addition to building. Okay. Next one is shoveling snow. A pertinent question is whether a Jew may shovel snow on Shabbos, even if one follows the opinion that snow is muktzeh, as discussed above. When one lifts and moves the snow with a shovel, the snow is obviously not being handled directly. So let's try to understand. It's very interesting, right? I'm not sure what was it for, but it was for snow. Hopefully it's not snowing by you. So muktzeh, we just spoke about this topic, and Beezrat Hashem, I'm planning to give the whole class. It's going to take many classes to finish the topic of muktzeh, but since I went over this topic a few times, so I will try to explain it as simple as possible, right? So the thing is, even things that are muktzeh, you're allowed to move them indirectly, right? So what would be the examples? Let's say man came on Friday night, like Friday before the Shabbos, very close to Shabbos, he got stuck in traffic, this and that, and he like threw his wallet or his phone on his bed, and went to the shower, changed, and went to the shul. So he comes back from the shul and see, whoa, my phone, which is muktzeh, you're not allowed to use the phone. Muktzeh, wallet, also money, there is no use for money on Shabbos. Also muktzeh, so what can you do? So you can handle indirectly. What does mean indirectly? So you can put a bet spread, right? But and take with a phone, with a wallet, with everything, and take it to wherever you want, to another room, and shake it down on a couch, on somewhere. So it's not going to ruin and stuff like that. So indirectly, there is no problem. Okay. There are cases when there's a problem, but in this case, it's not a problem. So here is what he's trying to say. Okay, you shovel in the snow, even the snow is muktzeh. Let's say we're going by the stricter opinion, the snow is muktzeh. You're not touching it directly, which is good. Okay, continue. This is called tiltul, min chadzat. Many poskim feel that in this case, it is permitted, since we allow tiltul min chadzat, even when the intention is to move the muktzeh item, so meaning indirectly, as long as the objective is not for the purpose of the muktzeh item itself. So I don't care about the snow. I would even prefer if there was no snow, right? I just want to shovel like the path from my house, or maybe I have a sidewalk, so other people would be able to pass by. So me personally, I never shovel I never ever shovel the snow on Shabbos. Okay, I mean people walk what? Not everybody shovels, right? So not everybody shovels. Where I live, some do, some don't. Maybe people are not home. Maybe they do not care. Maybe they're going to do it in a few days. So according to where I live in city law, they give you 48 hours or 72 hours to shovel. So there is basically no problem. Okay. So one more time, our objective is not for the snow. We don't care about the snow, but we care about the path, so we can walk. Right? Others disagree, stating that the shovel is considered like extension of one's hand. And if snow is muktzeh, using the shovel would be tantamount to moving the muktzeh. So, and learning about our Shabbos class, we said that some things extension to one's hand, and I'm going to remind us what did we say? We said about selecting, right? So we said if you want to take you have a piece of chicken, right? And it's no, not a good example. Yeah, good piece of chicken, and it's in a soup, so you want to take it with a spoon. So even though the third condition of baneh is with a hand, it says good for bad, from bad. Some good meaning that whatever you want to eat, from bad whatever you don't want to eat. For right now, right? I'm going to eat right now, and the third one with a hand. So even though halacha says with a hand, but some things you're not going to touch with a hand. You're not going to put your hand in a bowl of in a pot of soup and take a piece of chicken. You're not going to do that, right? And that's why you use a spoon, and this spoon is actually considered your hand halachically. That's so the sages apply this principle here as well. Meaning they say, no, 1 second, stop right there. They say, look, this shovel is actually extension of your hand. So it looks like you're moving this muktzeh with your hand. This discussion is applicable only in the area enclosed in the Eruv. Additionally, this would be permitted only when shoveling the paved surface, not on the grass or earth. Okay, so he gave us a lot of information here. Let's explain. He said if there is no eruv, no halachic eruv, where you can carry in your neighborhood, that's it. Just forget it. You're not allowed even to touch this shovel because you're not allowed to go out of your house with the shovel. Period. Right? That's one thing. Why we're not allowed to carry on Shabbos? So even shoveling the snow, of course, it's carrying. And plus, the second reason he said only on a paved surface. Paved meaning whatever paved, like you have asphalt, you have like cement, whatever you have, but not grass or earth. Why? Because it's going to be again Melachah of building, right? How you build? You prepare the surface, right, with removal of the snow. That's the issue. Okay, so if any of these conditions, we're not even talk. There is nothing to talk about. So only if there is eruv and it's a pavement. Continue. Shoveling is a tirchah. So that's a different restriction on Shabbos. We cannot do something with a tirchah. Tirchah, it's like I don't want to say bother, but a person is getting tired, like too much work. So let's see. When considering whether a Jew may shovel the snow on Shabbos, another issue must be taken into account. Activities involve tirchah, extra bother or strain. Okay, he's that's the word I was looking for. The strain, extra bother or strain. That's tirchah. May not be done on Shabbos unless there for the purpose of the mitzvah. So on Shabbos we're not allowed to strain ourselves. I'm not sure what happened. Somebody did something. Okay, I'm not sure. Let's leave it as it is. I don't want to touch it. Okay, so I didn't do anything. Okay. So one second. So it's a general rule, general prohibition that we're not allowed to do like exercise on Shabbos. For example, if you some people say, yeah, we ate a lot, so let's take a power walk on Shabbos. So after such a big meal, so we're not allowed. It's absolutely forbidden. It's like this person, in some sense, being Michal Shabbos. But if weather nice and you wanna walk with your family around the block, I don't know, like in a neighborhood, there is no problem. That's actually mitzvah to enjoy Shabbos. So it depends what you do. But tirchah, meaning the strain, is never allowed, unless, as we said, it's for a mitzvah, whatever mitzvah is. Okay, continue. Whatever mitzvah, maybe I would say maybe you preparing the meal for a bunch of people and you have to carry the tables and the chairs from one floor to another floor. Maybe it's heavy, maybe this, maybe that. That's a tirchah, but it would be allowed since it is for a mitzvah. This is rabbinic prohibition. Okay. Shovel in snow would probably consider tirchah. I would say most definitely would consider tirchah. For most of the people who do not are not used to what is it, the manual work, for sure it's tirchah. It's very heavy. The snow is very heavy. However, one is allowed to transgress rabbinic prohibition to prevent injury. So that's the way out. So one more time, if it's only when you have Eruv. It is logical to assume there is not shovel into snow may cause someone to slip and be injured, and it would therefore not be a problem of tirchah. Okay. However, it is mitzvah to stay safe, and tirchah is permitted in the case of the mitzvah. Okay. So basically, I mean, even if when somebody does not shovel like walkway, right? So we live in a city, so people walk. So I know in many places there is no sidewalk, but where we live, like everybody like walking. Even that they park somewhere on a street, that they walk by your house. So even if you do not shovel, so these people you usually like triple careful. They know that there is a snow, that it's icy and stuff like that, so they would be careful. So I think there is no problem, unless you know that your neighbor, next door neighbor, is a very old man and he's going to go to shul no matter what. So maybe for him like it would be allowed, but otherwise don't do it. The same way poskim write that one may chop ice on Shabbos, a rabbinic prohibition, since one could sleep on ice and be injured. But I'm not sure why would people do that. Okay. All right. So continue. Any questions on what we said so far? Yeah, go ahead.
What about so you have a icy sidewalk, or say you shovel the snow the day before Shabbos, and it turned over into ice the next morning. Are you allowed to throw like salt or sand on it?
Salt is a problem. Salt is a big problem because even in some sense it is an indirectly, but you turn something that is solid, right? You turn something that is solid into something that is liquid. That's the problem. Even though for food purposes we said many poskim said that there is no problem, you can, not everybody agree, but they say that you're allowed to prepare ice. For example, you have many guests, for a cold drink you're allowed to prepare ice, but not everybody agrees, so I would not count it. But for Shabbos, like, just people see where they walk. I mean, one day, like half a day, they can wait. Should not be an issue. So half a day, why I say half a day? Because many of the non-Jews, they sleep until I don't know, lunch or something, and it's at 12 or 12 until they get out of their houses. So for us, Shabbos is over in 5 hours. So 5 hours they can wait for us to shovel. So where I live, all of the Jews come out to shovel after Shabbos. After Shabbos ends, we do Havdalah, go out, and then we shovel. That's what we do. Okay, go ahead. Any other questions? Somebody raised the hand, but okay, so please speak out.
Yeah, I was wondering if, when it's Shabbos and it's snowing, and some people, especially in, I don't know, non-Jewish, maybe they might not know. And what about if it gets very slippery and they fall? Wouldn't that be dangerous, like a life risk or something?
No, we said if it's a life risk and plus there is an Eruv, yes, we said if needed you can shop, you can shop. But if there is no Eruv, like you see where I live, like some people, some houses are owned by like elderly people. They would not walk. So with these people, they would not shovel for a week. Like everybody knows. I walk past this house. I'm just being extra careful. Or some not good neighbors. They never shovel. Or shovel when it's, I don't know, when it's almost no snow. You understand? So, of course, we're trying to be extra nice to our non-Jewish neighbors, but I'm not going to desecrate Shabbos because of them. And they have to be careful. That's it. So if there is an Eruv and you want to do it, and you think there is a real danger, do it. If there is no danger, no real danger, don't do it. That's the thing. As I said, I never shovel. I mean, but look, they have to wait like 5 hours, 6 hours, and it's done. Like after Shabbos, I'm first out with my shovel and I clean. And sometimes my neighbor clean, like a little path.
Okay, thank you.
So he's he's a Muslim actually. We have very good relationships, Baruch Hashem. So when he's not there, I would take his cans. When I sweep a little on his side. He sweeps. When he sweeps on my side. So that's what neighbors do. So they actually very, very respectful. Very nice. Okay. Any other questions before we continue? I apologize about this background. I'm not sure what's going on, but okay. Okay, then continue. So one more time, if there is an Eruv and it's needed, no problem, go ahead. But needed meaning for if it's slippery and it's dangerous, so you know that somebody might walk. But usually people who are afraid of walking, they stay home. Right? They don't walk outside. Shoveling by a non-Jew. If one assumes that a Jew is not permitted to shovel snow on Shabbos or lives where there is no Eruv, is one permitted to have a non-Jew shovel on Shabbos snow for he on Shabbos? So generally, okay. So let me read. He said it. Generally, whatever one is not, one may not do herself. She may not tell a non-Jew to do for her either, even when the prohibition is rabbinic. So period. So whatever we're not allowed to do ourselves, of course there are some exceptions. If it's for a mitzvah, if it's for the whole congregation, that's a little different. Or if it's danger to life or danger to health, so that's a little different, right? So for example, the danger to health, like in olden days, right? People live in Europe, right? All Ashkenazim live in Europe, and it's very cold, very, very cold. It's like in Canada in many places. So it's like almost like Canada, or even colder than in Canada in the winter. So of course this stove, like wooden stove, would not go for so many hours. Okay, maybe till midnight. I don't know. Like there were no any insulated houses, or so like most of the people. So they would have a non-Jew to come on their house and start the stove. Absolutely. Right, because it is a danger, especially if you have an elderly person, right, in your house. So for them to get sick and die, like on all the days, it's 1, 2, 3. In a few weeks, a person is gone, or a little baby, or children in general, or a woman just gave birth. So all of these people considered to be halachically like a sick person whose life is not in danger, right? Always. So children up to certain age, like it depends on what opinion we go, but let's say until 5 or 6 years old, they always in danger. So you can do for them many things, right? But according to other opinions, so if child is sickly child, even up to 9 years old, so you can do many things for them. You understand? So of course they would ask a non-Jew, and non-Jew would come and start the stove and heating system. That's for sure. There is no question about it. Okay, so that's our question, right? And Beezrat Hashem, I'm planning this class also. We'll see when. It's a separate topic, absolutely separate topic. What you are allowed and what you are not allowed to ask a non-Jew, right? So, but general rule, whatever is not allowed to you. You're not allowed to ask somebody else to do it for you, Jew or non-Jew, right? But as we said, with the non-Jews there is some exception. However, there is certain dispensation when it is permitted. For a great need in double quotes, some opinion allow non-Jew to violate rabbinic prohibition. So we clearly see it is rabbinic. Okay, rabbinic prohibition for a Jew. Moreover, a non-Jew is permitted to move Muktzeh if it is to clear space, such as one wishes to walk there. Okay, so there are different kind of different types of the Muktzeh, and some of them, so you can ask a non-Jew to move it, or you can move it indirectly and stuff like that. Okay. Additionally, some of the opinion that the task that is prohibited because of the Tirchah may be done through a non-Jew. Okay. So Tirchah meaning great bother. Okay. Okay. So one more time, if there is an Eruv. And so now when the more we read, the more we understand why the prices of the houses and the house in the area enclosed by in the Eruv, the kosher Eruv, they could be 25 and 30% more. Like Eruv stops here on this street, so like across the street it priced 25% less. On this street, like 25% more. Why? Because it's enclosed in area. When they're going to enclose next street, I don't know, maybe in 10 years, maybe never. How do I know? That's a very interesting thing. Okay. Any questions on what we said before we continue? Okay. So no problem. So we continue. So almost done with topic of Shabbos. So it's of course it's only things that apply to women, but of course all the things apply to men, but specifically to women. Okay. Paying a non-Jew for shoveling. If one asks a non-Jew to shovel the snow for her on Shabbos, based on what we discussed previously, the quandary arises of a paying non-Jew for his services. Right? Although one is allowed to pay a non-Jew for services done on Shabbos, one is allowed to pay them. There is other complicated issue here. Okay. It is simple. I mean, the thing that he said so simply, it's not so simple. Although one is allowed to pay a non-Jew for services done on Shabbos. Okay, continue reading. I mean, that you are allowed to do yourself, maybe. Okay, continue. First, one may generally not explicitly set a price on Shabbos. So that's very interesting, right? Perhaps this is a mitzvah where we do allow it, or the non-Jew can simply state his fee and one just agree. Another opinion is that simply we will come to Torah and Shabbos after Shabbos. So okay, so we're not allowed to talk business on Shabbos. One of the prohibitions we're not allowed, and that's what we say in the Kiddush. Shabbos day, right? Shabbos day Kiddush. We said that we're not going to speak mundane business affairs on Shabbos, right? So we cannot establish the price. So if he said, okay, I can shovel this for you, it's going to be $35. And you say, please, whatever, you do not say do it because it's like you told them to do, but you say like, yes, please, or please, whatever it means. Or you can always say, and that's actually from Mishnah Brura, so we can say, we will come to terms after Shabbos. To what terms? What are you talking about? What I mean, both of you understand what it means, that we're going to come in terms after Shabbos, but no money discussed explicitly. So that's a preferable way. So especially if it's your neighbor, somebody that you know, that should be no problem. Continue. Second, one is not allowed to actually pay a non-Jew on Shabbos, even without touching the money. He should be paid once Shabbos over. Okay. That's another thing, that we're not allowed to pay on Shabbos, and it's not so simple. to hire somebody on Shabbos itself. So even though, you might ask how these waiters are working on Shabbos. So you have some celebration, right, in a synagogue or somewhere in the hall, in the Simcha hall, and you have Jewish waiters, right? They're Jews, or non-Jewish waiters, right? It's how you're allowed to pay them. So the answer is that they actually come and set the tables before Shabbos, right? They do preparation before Shabbos, or even if they did not, no problem. So they would come after Shabbos and they're going to clean the place, they're going to throw the garbage, take the utensils, or the dirty dishes, the stoves, or whatever, chairs, or whatever they're going to stay. Okay, so you're paying them for that part, whatever they did after Shabbos. So on Shabbos they being nice, right? They did you a favor and did everything for free, right? But you're paying them for after Shabbos, so which is allowed. That's the approach. Of course, it's in general, but I'm planning to cover these topics in details. Beezrat Hashem. Okay, continue. That's our question. Spreading salt on Shabbos. Let's see what he says. If the steps, walkway, or sidewalk are icy and slippery, one is permitted to spread salt on the area in order to melt the ice, assuming there is an eruv. So eruv is because you're not allowed to carry. Other items such as sand, straw, or wood shavings are more problematic, since they do not dissolve and will remain there. Okay. Thus, it might be considered boneh, because one is adding to the ground. Okay, so we said the salt. Okay, so we can use always this opinion. I'm just checking whose opinion is it. Shmiras Shabbat Kehilchata. Okay, no problem. He's a great authority. So he said we can always use this opinion. He said you're allowed to sprinkle the salt, no problem. The only thing you must know that if it's an eruv. So if there is no eruv, nobody is going to allow you. Okay. So let's explain this issue with the sand and straw and wood shavings. The issue is when we said before boneh. Boneh is building. So when you do building, so you first leveling the ground, and that's why in olden days, the Shulchan Aruch says, and in the Talmud says, and Shulchan Aruch extracts from there, you're not allowed to sweep on Shabbos, right? You're not allowed to sweep. But our sages explain you're not allowed to sweep if you have earthly floor or like sand floor, whatever was in the olden days, right? But today, since we have a hardwood or a stone or marble or whatever floor you had, like hard floor, there is no problem with sweeping. So why? Because when you sweep and there is like ground, it's like you leveling the ground. It's boneh, and same is here. It's like you adding something extra to the ground, which is problematic with boneh. And salt just destroy. So destroy is good in this case. Next one, snow on garments. That's another issue, very interesting. If snow has been absorbed into the coat or hat, the garment should not be shaken out vigorously, since it is included in the Malkah of washing. So, one of the prohibitions, one of the 39 Melachos on Shabbos is we're not allowed to wash. And the process of washing consists of several parts. Right? First part is soaking, so you put something in water and soak. Then you wash, and then you shake, and then you wring. Right? So this and how you can wring, so you can wring like this, or you can just shake out the excess water, and that's why it's not allowed with your coat or hat, they say. So, and it's actually exactly the same with rain. It's not only with snow, exactly the same issue with rain. So you just shake it a little, like, and put it there to dry. If snow is just on the surface of the garment, it may be shaken off, right? If it is difficult to know what exactly is considered absorbed, so it is recommended that one shakes off gently. So if you're not sure, don't do it. Okay, any questions on what we said? Because we finished that section. We finished sections on Shabbos. Anyone? Okay, check the time. Okay, no problem. So next topic is around the year. So the way I understand, we're going to go like in small topics, like separate topics, separate issues. So we start with Rosh Hashanah, and very interesting topic, Hataras Nedarim, right? Annulment of the vows, Hataras Nedarim. There is a widespread custom to recite Hataras Nedarim on Erev Rosh Hashanah. This annuls any vow a person has taken upon herself throughout the year. Men do this in a shul after davening Shacharis, right? So, okay, so how do the men do? So we assemble into groups, and a group of 3 people. You must have three people, kosher people, of course, Shomer Shabbos people. They need not to be like great scholars, right? But simple kosher Shomer Shabbos people, and then we read a special text. I'm talking about men. So a man reads, and they listen to what you say, and they read to you that that all of the vows are annulled. Of course, it's only vows between us and Hashem. Whatever a person said that I'm going to do, I don't know. I'm going to learn 5 hours every day Torah, and then did not work so well for him. He did only 15 and a half minutes, right? Unfortunately, so yeah, he can annul this vow, right? But whatever the vows between men and men, you cannot annul. So it's only Christians, right? They say, yeah, okay, I don't want to pay this guy. Okay, so this priest say, yeah, okay, give us $500, and you don't have to pay back 5,000. I mean, who cares? You understand? And Judaism does not work this way. No, you cannot annul. If you promise somebody to do something for other person, it's between you and him. Nobody can annul this value. Well, continue. This annuls any vows a person has taken upon herself throughout the year. Okay. Men do this in a shul after davening Shacharis, we just explained. In some communities, the women do this as well, in the presence of 3 men. The men are allowed to be related to each other and to the woman, though her husband may not be one of the men. And it's actually from Shulchan Aruch. So let's finish reading, and we're going to explain. In some communities, the wife simply makes her husband her emissary, and he asks 3 men to annul her vows for her. That's actually the most common thing, right? So, I mean, if you have a big family, for example, or you have grown-up sons or brothers, or your brothers, let's say your father, so they can be these 3 men, and you stand. I'm talking about a woman. So a woman can stand in front of this man, and she can read the text, and they can reply. So of course it's not proper for a woman to stand in front of strange men. It's absolutely not. So that's why women cannot be witnesses in court, right? Not to embarrass a woman, right? That's Torah always cares. Hashem always cares about dignity of a woman in Judaism. So that's why he said, okay, it's better. Hashem said, it's better for me leave this case. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to bring justice to the world, but not for this Jewish woman to be embarrassed or stand in front of the man, then let them have illicit thoughts. It's very interesting, right? So, but if it's family, it's a different issue. But the most common, I would say, in our circles, just men stand before this court. So first he's going to do this Hataras Nedarim for himself, and then for his wife. There's a little different language, but I think it's included in Sidurim. So he said, okay, so she can make him her emissary. There is no problem. Okay, especially for this. Continue. In some high schools, the girls recite Hataras and Nedarim as a group in front of 3 men. See Rabbi Eliezer in Ashrei Halsh. Okay. So I never heard about this custom, but of course, okay. I mean, if Rabbi Eliezer said that's okay, that's okay. All right. So probably 3 teachers, I would say. That so the girls and girls, so the teachers would be allowed. Okay. Continue. Symbolic foods. That's very interesting. During the meal served on the night of Rosh Hashanah, it is a customary to eat foods that represent blessing and merit. So just some people always ask me every year. They ask me like exactly the same questions about the food, like exactly for many years. So and I always reminded. I said, look at your siddur, and it's there. It's all of this what you have to say, what you have to think. Like it's all in your siddur. I never remember these things. Sometimes we do them. Sometimes I forget, but it's all in your siddur. Okay, so about women. During the meal served on night of Rosh Hashanah, it is customary to eat foods that represents blessing and merit. For the apple that is dipped in honey, a separate bracha of chaetz must be recited. So as we said, as we just recently, not too long ago, finished our class Halachos of Brachos, Baruch Hashem, right? So we know that whatever is not part of ordinary meal, so you have to make a separate blessing. So apples usually not part of any ordinary meal. It's like a dessert. So we say separate blessing chaetz. Then bite is taken from apple, and after the appropriate Yihiratzon is said. So Yihiratzon, I think it's translated "may be your will," something like that. Said. Hashem's name may be said when recited in Yihiratzon. So okay. So even for men, for women, as he said, we can recite Hashem's name. So just follow your siddur, I would say. Continue. If one is not able to eat any of these symbolic foods, she may still recite Yihiratzon. Very interesting. By merely looking at them. So, for example, some foods not good for her. Like I don't know. Okay, so she can still look at them, look at the food, and say Yihiratzon. Maybe you will. Moreover, some poskim maintain that even if one does not actually have this food, she may nevertheless recite Yihiratzon. Let me see. Piskei Teshuvah. Okay, Piskei Teshuvah said you can say this blessing. Okay, so you can say this blessing. Okay, so time is okay. Continue. We will do one more. Obligation in Shofar. So that's very famous, and because if you think about it, there is only mitzvah on Rosh Hashanah, like physical, that you have to do. All other, like to do teshuvah, is to say all of these prayers. It's a different story, but physical is Shofar. The Gemara expounds verses from the Torah to instruct us to hear 9 shofar blasts on day of Rosh Hashanah. The 9 blasts comprise 3 sets of tekiah, trua, tekiah. Right? Tekiah, trua, tekiah. However, we are unclear regarding the proper way of blowing a trua. It is a 3 medium blasts, trua, 2, 2, 2, right? Many short blasts, right? Shvorim, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So just a quick shofar lesson. So we have one long sound, and it should be long enough, right? So this it would it would fit 3 teruah. So 2 meaning 2, 2, 2, or 9, right? Shvorim, okay, or both 3 medium blasts and many shofar blasts, okay. Shvorim Torah. So basically, since we don't know how this sound sounds, so we try to sound with all different scenarios in order so we cover it. We therefore sound each option, resulting in Torah blasts. Okay. Also, the Gemara writes that it is the best to hear 3 blasts during Musaf, when we recite the blessing of Malchus, Malchuyos, Zichronos, and Shofaros. So three things, three themes on Rosh Hashanah, which is Malchuyos is meaning that Hashem is our king. Zichronos, that we ask him to remember us. Shofaros, sound of shofar. We blow shofar before Musaf as well, to confuse Satan, since he sees our alacrity to perform this mitzvah. Okay, so meaning that he leaves us alone in Rosh Hashanah. Baruch Hashem. Continue. So proper to hear on Musaf, but you will also sound the shofar before Musaf. It is widely accepted to blow additional blasts equivalent to 100 in total, as indicated Rosh Hashanah Machzor. So if you see, it's exactly 100 blasts. Women are exempt from a time-bound commandments. Therefore, strictly speaking, they are not obligated to hear shofar on Rosh Hashanah. However, many poskim write that over the generations, women are accepted this mitzvah upon themselves, and therefore now an obligation upon them. So it's very okay. So before we continue, so first of all, just to remind us, almost all of the mitzvahs that's connected to time, bound to time, women are exempt. So the exception with Shabbos because of different reason, as we explained before. I'm not going to repeat, right? And here, shofar, it's exactly a specific time, right? What is specific time? At Musaf time. So of course, so technically she's absolved, right? But women accept it upon themselves. So you see on Rosh Hashanah there are many women that never come on Shabbos. I mean, Yom Kippur is different, so there's no food on Yom Kippur. So of course they're not busy at home like preparing. So that's a different story. But on Rosh Hashanah, of course, there is a big feast after that. But they still come to hear shofar. So and once a person accepts upon him or herself, that's meaning 3 times in a row. Unless you say bli neder, I don't want to accept as a neder, as a vow. That's a different story. Now you have to do it unless you want to annul this vow. Okay. Since it is not a Torah obligation for women, it is customary that they are required to hear only 30 rather than 100 or all 100. That's it. Right? So minimum is 30. Once the bracha on the shofar has been recited, there should be no talking until all of the blasts are finished at the end of the davening. So you're not allowed to talk. So even though it says 100 blasts, but it's throughout the whole davening, like throughout the whole Musaf source. So it's not right away. So once he said blessing, and this blessing actually he's covering all of us. We're all included in Chazan's blessing. So try your best not to talk. A woman who leaves after hearing only Torah blast may talk after she has left the shul. So of course, no talking in the shul ever, right? But once she left the shul, she heard Torah blast, no problem. If one uses the bathroom during Musaf service, that's an issue, which is after the bracha of the shofar, she should recite Asher Yotzer upon exiting. So Asher Yotzer, meaning the blessing after bathroom, in this case is not considered to be interruption because that's what one must say. But I would say, like, since in many shuls, I would say in all of the shuls that I went over the years, I went to different shuls, they all have a break between Shacharis and Musaf and Rosh Hashanah. Everywhere. Like in some places, 20 minutes, they would do a kiddush, or like, I don't know, 30 minutes, like 15, whatever. So please use this time to go to the bathroom. It's not proper to miss the things. Of course, if you need to go, you need to go. But they always, in all of the places that I went to, they give the break. Continue. Because women are strictly speaking and not obligated in hearing shofar, certain leniency may be allowed for them. Many have a practice not to eat or drink before fulfilling the mitzvah of hearing shofar, and that's for men, needless to say, right? No eating or drinking, right, before the hearing shofar. For women, there is more lenient. Therefore, even if the man in her family have this practice, she might be granted permission to eat, right? If she's weak or whatever. Right? Certainly, a woman who is very hungry, expectant, or nursing would be allowed to eat. That's out of the question, of course. She's allowed to eat. One must be mindful that Kiddush needs to be recited before eating. So if she wants to eat, there is no problem, but she must say Kiddush for herself, and she's allowed to eat. No problem. So one tip for a man, so if you have a family and young children and they're not going to go to the shul for whatever reason, or you have elderly people that come to your house, so just buy yourself shofar and learn how to blow. It's not so difficult. You go to internet, I can send you links, or you can find the links of kosher people, how they teach, and of course it's not going to be like on a top level unless you're professional, but it's not so difficult after all. So learn that you can come home and blow shofar for your wife or your kids. That's another solution. Okay, so we can stop here. Any questions on what we said or any topic? Okay. No question, no problem. So we stop here then. Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
I have one little question about Shofar blast. How can we count the nine touch of Shofar blast if they are too fast?
No, but these people usually people they do the blast. They're professionals, right? The guy who's been doing it for many years. It's not like random person. They say you going to do shofar this year. No, nobody does it. Like 3 days before the Rosh Hashanah. Most of the time, it's person that's been doing it for many years, and they know how to count. So after the fact, if it was not exactly 9, so it's after the fact, there is no problem. So 1 and 3, everybody can count, but 9 is not so easy, and especially sometimes it's the Chazan is doing it, who is leading service, and he's so tired, sing on the top of from the top of his lungs. It's without food, right? So it's not so easy, of course. But most likely they do exactly 9. But if they do a little more, a little less, it's not so significant. But most of them do. When you start training, it's not so hard. Okay, go ahead. Any other questions?
About this, what if we do the shofar blast? This 9 shofar blast is slow. Is not the same.
No, but once you start training, so it's one long, right? Let's say, I don't know. I'm just hypothetically speaking, right? So it's 6 seconds. Let's say this long one. It's whatever. 6, just to make it simple, right? So then you have 3. So the time segment is still 6 seconds. So you have to fit there 3 blasts, and then in these 6 seconds you have to fit 9 blasts. That's how it works. So you got so used to you don't need even you don't have to even count. It's done automatically. It's not hard. Okay. Go ahead. Anybody wants to speak?
Rabbi.
Okay, go ahead. So, lady first, please. Go ahead.
Yes.
Rabbi, if you want to annul vows and you don't have any males in your family, what do you do?
So you can ask, for example, you can appoint another man, right, as your representative. Always, that's what we do. For example, one person wants to marry a girl, a lady. So he can send his friend. He can send I don't know, wedding professional and said, please go and ask this lady to be my wife, and it's binding. So there is such a concept of shliach. We call it shliach, like representative of a person. Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. Okay, go ahead. Somebody else.
Rabbi, I have a question for one. It has to do with Shabbos. It says it's from one of the books you recommended. It's the Shabbos Home, page 21. The title is Permissible Methods of Giving Gifts on Shabbos. I just want to know if I'm understanding this correctly. It says that a donor, like let's say if I want to give something on Shabbos, if I want to give it a gift, I have to give it to a third party, someone that's not part of my household, and then they have to lift it 3 tefahim from the ground, and then that way the other person, on behalf of the recipient, right? So does that mean I have to give it to somebody like I don't know, or somebody that's not part of my family?
No. It's same thing is here. So it could be somebody that you know, and your friend or somebody from the shul. So let me explain the question. So because you start from the question, but not everybody understand what you're trying to ask. So just a little background what he's asking. So he's asking there is prohibition of making any like acquisition on Shabbos. So acquisition, I can do like buying things, right? I can pay money, somebody give it to me, or even a gifts considered to be acquisition. So even I can acquire things without paying. Somebody gives me, I shovel his driveway, let's say, and he wants to give me a gift. He bought me a kosher cake, right? No, and he know that we celebrate Shabbos, so he brought this cake for us on Shabbos, kosher. 3 stamps, whatever, 7 stamps, or whatever it stamps, and he's very happy. So the question is, so when it was his cake, when I take this cake, it becomes my cake, right? Cake is not a good example. I apologize. Okay, he wants to give me. I apologize. He broke my shovel when shoveling, right? So he bought his own shovel. He bought different shovel from Home Depot, and he brings me this shovel. So if I take the shovel, I acquire it, and it's not allowed. So it's like a transaction. So what he's saying, so that there is a way around it. So if you give it to somebody else before Shabbos, and you said that person is going to be my shliach, right? And it's not you giving, but somebody else. And when you go through the shliach, it's like that person, the recipient, is almost like he acquired. So basically, you're going around the whole prohibition of. It's like he almost gave it over. It's like that person already have it. The beneficiary of the gift. So that's why it's not a problem. Do we do it? I mean, sometimes that's what people do when they celebrate bar mitzvah. Let's say that's the most common, right? When they celebrate bar mitzvah in a shul, and they want to give this bar mitzvah boy siddur, whatever they want to give him. So that's what they do through the third party. But otherwise, it's not practical. Why I said the food is there is no issue. Like for example, if there is eruv in my neighborhood, let's say, and people can they come over, they want to bring a bottle of wine. There is no problem. They can bring a bottle of wine. Why? Because it's not a gift. I mean, if we're going to share this bottle of wine together, so it's not a gift. We're going to drink it together, right? It's just food. Okay. So if it's food only for me to have it later after Shabbos, that's the gift. But food that we're going to eat right now, I mean, we're not obligated to eat right now, but nobody said that we're going yes or no, so there is no problem. So that's why I said food, maybe it's not such a good example. Okay, understand? So that's how it works. Is it practical? Do we do it? We try not to do it. Right, because of... people don't pay attention. Like the shliach that you instruct 7 times, they still make mistakes. That's the only reason. Okay. What else?
And then I have another one. I'm sorry. And then it says in the same section, it says that let's say there's a second opinion. It says that if you're going to hand a gift, you have to give the recipient special instructions to bear in mind not to own it until after Shabbos.
Yeah.
Is that the more stringent opinion?
You're right. It's as we just said, it's proper to avoid all of these transactions. Like maybe you like it is still yours, but in his possession, and he should acquire only after Shabbos. So, I mean, I don't know. Try not to do it, I would say. But it's halakhically possible. So it's not his until I said it's his. Just because something in his possession does not mean that it is his. For example, I left my book in somebody else's house, and he's calling me, are you going to pick up the book? I start reading, I cannot put it down, and I can say, yeah, you can have this book. So first it was my book, but after the fact, I gave it to him. So it's a little... So meaning that it was in his possession, but he did not acquire it until I decided that he should have it. You understand? That's would be the example. Okay. You're welcome. Any other questions? Any subject? Okay, so if not, we can stop here. Tomorrow we continue with Accuser Shulchan Aruch. Thank you very much. Good night until tomorrow. Thank you.